Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. Now, in this episode, I'm going to talk about tax lien investment strategies. Tax lien investment strategies. I'm going to give you some inside tips, which I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'm also going to tell you about some things to avoid. But on the inside tips, I'm going to show you how to make some money. And that's actually what you really want to know about. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's get started with tax lien investment strategies, okay? Now, if you're a first-time investor in tax lien certificates, I'm here to tell you, probably sound like it's too good to be true, but local governments pay 16%, 18%, 24%, all the way up to 36% interest on a tax lien certificate. So this is a powerful way to make money. Now, some people say, wait a minute, this must be an infomercial. No, it's not. This is a government program that's administered and it's been mandated by the government. It's been around for 200 years, and I'm going to give you a little background on that. So just kind of open up your mind, just let this information fall in, and you're going to find out about an investment. It sounds like it's too good to be true, but I'm here to tell you this has been going on for 200 years. I've been teaching it for over 25 years. So this is an alternative investment. As I say, it's been around for 200 years. So people like the stock market. I'm not negative there. I'm not negative on mutual funds or whatever it is you like to. That's fine. But this is an alternative where you could invest with the government and you could get a check back from the government and you could earn 16, 18, 24, and up to 36%. Now, I've never seen a tax lien that paid less than 8%, and actually they did away with that. And the lowest one that I know of in the country today is in New York State, out on Long Island, and Suffolk and Nassau counties only pay 12. But in Chicago, Illinois, you could earn 36%. So you're kind of getting the idea. So this is a powerful way for you to make money, and anybody can do it. You can get started for $50 if you want, or you can do $500,000. It's going to depend upon the auction and what you want to invest. Now, let me explain what's happening here. In all of the states of the United States, there's about 3,000 counties. Half of those counties, approximately, will sell tax lien certificates. Now, that just means they're going to sell you a piece of paper. If you buy a tax lien certificate, the property owner stays in possession of the property. However, they're going to owe you whatever you paid plus the high interest for that state. So imagine this. You buy a tax lien certificate directly from the government. So you invest with the government. Now you're going to get your check back. But what if that local government paid 24% like they do in Iowa? You would now get a 24% return. The other half of the states, they're not quite so benevolent. What they do is they sell tax defaulted property, which we call tax deeds. Now, those tax deeds are sold where the government went out and confiscated the property, and then what they do is they sell it without a mortgage. Now, if you buy a tax lien certificate or a tax deed, either one, they come without a mortgage. So wouldn't you like to own properties without a mortgage? All right, now I told you about these rates. Now, the rates are phenomenal. In some places, they're penalty rates, but most of the rates are annualized. That simply means, like in Florida, where they pay 18%, so that you earn 1.5% every month that certificate is outstanding. So think about that. If it was outstanding for 6 months, you would earn 9%. Now compare that with a local bank paying less than 1%. So this is a powerful investment. Now, what you want to know when you're making investment is, are you going to get your money back? You're looking for ROI, return on investment. Well, the beauty and the brilliance of tax lien certificates is you don't invest with Ted Thomas. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a broker. I'm not any of those things, folks. I'm just an educator to teach people like you how to do it. But when you buy a tax lien certificate, you invest directly with the government. That means your money is protected by the property tax code, and you're going to get a check back from the government with that huge interest rate attached to it. So you're kind of getting the idea. These are powerful, powerful certificates. All right, now why is the government selling these certificates? So kind of hang in with me for a minute here, and you'll see that the local government has a problem because they've got a lot of bills to pay, and if the property owners don't pay their tax, how are they going to pay for the police, the fire departments? How are they going to pay the county employees? How are they going to pay for the schools and the libraries? They couldn't pay for those things without the money from property tax. So when property taxes are not paid, the county will take immediate action, and they'll either create a tax lien certificate in about half the states, or in the other half of the states, they'll take action to actually confiscate and seize the property. In both cases, what the local government wants is money. Now, why do they want the money? Well, that's the lubrication that keeps the roads being fixed. It keeps the teachers getting paid. It keeps the police departments in place. So you're sort of getting the idea. So employees of the government are getting paid. Everybody gets paid if they can collect the property tax. But unfortunately, everybody doesn't have good luck in life. You and I have had some bad luck. Maybe we couldn't pay all our bills. Well, one of the bills people don't pay is property taxes. So half of the states will sell a tax lien certificates, which you and I can buy, or they'll sell tax deeds, and that means we can actually buy those properties for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. Now, folks, this has been around for 200 years. I didn't invent it. I'm a teacher, and I've been teaching people how to do this for a long, long time. It's basically, it comes back from the English when they had an old wealth tax years ago. The English had an old wealth tax. Now I just say this is kind of like wealth without risk, because you invest with the government, you get money back. So that's kind of a nice way to do it. Plus the properties come with no mortgage. Now it's not unusual to bid at a tax deed auction, not unusual, and there's no mortgage on the property. So think about this. What if it was a $200,000 property and the minimum bid was $5,000? What if you got it for 5 or 10 and it was worth 200 and there was no mortgage? Every one of us would like to have a property with no mortgage. So you're getting the idea. Pretty powerful stuff. Now, I've been teaching this for about 25 years. I want to make sure that you know how to avoid some of the mistakes before I end the video. So let me tell you about the two biggest mistakes. Mistake number one is people don't look at the property before they bid. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, not on this lesson, but other lessons, how to do this online, how to do it offline, how to do it in every single state in the United States, how to do it in every county. But you don't want to buy anything you haven't looked at. After all, you wouldn't marry the woman unless you had seen her. Same with you gals, you wouldn't marry that guy unless you had seen her. So don't buy a real estate property. What if there was a hurricane? What if it burned down? All kinds of things happen. Okay, that was mistake number one. I want to make sure you avoid that. Mistake number two is you don't want to buy any property that you already haven't figured out what you're going to do with it. Now, I call that exit strategy. So if you don't know what your exit strategy is, for goodness sake, don't bid on the property, because you might bid too high and you get above that actual exit strategy. So you want to give that a little bit of thought. Don't do either of those things. So you want to stay out of trouble. Oh, that's a question that comes up all the time. People say, can anyone in another country invest? Well, if it's an English-speaking country, I can pretty much tell you yes, because they can get dollars there. But I have clients in Canada, I have in the United Kingdom, Singapore, Bangkok, Australia. So anywhere you can get a dollar account, because you have to buy in dollars, you have to buy in US dollars, you can do this business, and you can do it online. So I have literally dozens, hundreds of clients throughout the Canadian provinces, in London, United Kingdom, also in the Pacific. So yes, you can do that from around the world. Now, I have clients come from Mexico City, I have them come from Colombia, but they've got bank accounts here, or they have a bank account where they can get dollars. So the answer to the question really is, can you do this from other parts of the world? The answer is yes, because almost everything is online, and all the research can be done online. The purchasing can be done online, and the delivery can be done online. So this is your chance. I like that question. The question was, Ted, you said the program's been around for 200 years. Does it still work today? Well, folks, let me say this first of all. Anything that's been around 200 years has got to be pretty darn good. Now, what do I mean by that? It's got to be good for the government. It's got to be good for you and I. Okay, every year, 2 or 3% of all taxpayers will default. Now, they don't want to default, but they get into default situations. There's bankruptcies. They have crises at their homes. They have accidents, do whatever. Sometimes they lose a job. All right, so every year there's going to be properties go into tax default. And I'll tell you how many are going to default. I'm just going to pick one state that you'll all be familiar with. In the state of Florida, which has about 18 million people, I'm using round numbers, of course, 18 million people, all right, 1 million property owners didn't pay their tax the year that I recorded this video. So that means 1 million people did not pay their tax. And I'm only talking about one of the 50 states. So you need to get in the, you can't make any money until you get in the game. So it's time to get in the game. Now, if you'd like to join my community, I have a gift for you to encourage you to do that. And here's what my gift is. It's a 1-hour DVD, and it tells you all the details on tax lien certificates. Now, I only got 6 or 8 minutes on this video, but it's going to give you a half hour about tax liens and deeds so you really understand it. And then the second half hour will be on tax deeds. Now, all you have to do to join the community, it's very simple. Right below me will a place where you can take action and join. So if you want to make big money, I already told you, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a broker, but my clients make big money, and I'll show you how to.